everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're continuing Roll and Write Day today on the channel by debuting what's actually a new Flip and Write game on the channel. It's more similar to Welcome To than Twilight Inscription, which is another game we've featured on the channel. We're playing Cartographers from Thunderworks Games. In this game, we've been sent out by the Queen to map out a new wilderness area. Now, we'll be doing this as a play-along video. Where on the link in the description below, there will be a link to the Cartographers page on Thunderworks Games website, where you can download a score sheet from there, and you can actually play along with me using my same events, using my same cards, and the same scoring criteria. And you can let me know how you do in the game. We might also end up getting ambushed by monsters at some point, but we'll detail all of that when we come to it. For now, we need to figure out what our objectives are, and for that we need to move over to the main scoring area. I've got my scoring sheet that I'll be keeping off shot. If you're playing along, we're going to be on the A side. We're going to be on the wilderness side. So you've got so on your score sheet, you'll have spaces for ruins, coins with mountains, and then coins down here, and then your scoring points. We'll visit how each of those spaces work when they become relevant. What's relevant right now, though, is Cartographers is split into 4 seasons. We've got A, B, C, and D objectives. We're starting in spring, which is going to score on the A and B. We'll reveal all 4 of these, and these will be our objectives for this playthrough. So Edict A is going to be based on farms and rivers. So we'll give these a shuffle. I don't mind not having these sleeved because these only get shuffled once. You draw 1 card from them, and then the rest can go back to the box. And that will be our objective for the game. So on Objective A, we're looking at Ulam's Wallow. We earn 4 reputation stars for each water space adjacent to 2 or more farm spaces. I'll explain more about what that value's for when we come into that. Then Objective B is going to be based on forest spaces. We'll give these a shuffle as well. And a cut, and this will be our forest objective. So we'll be scoring for Sentinel Wood. Earn 1 reputation star for each forest space adjacent to the edge of the map. Then Objective C will be based on looks like based on spaces on the board. So let's see what we've got here. And our objective for C, Purple Stone Miners. Earn 5 reputation stars for each island. I think that's with one of the map packs. So we're going to shuffle that. Yeah, we're going to shuffle that and draw again. Let's try this again. This might be with a map pack as well, but we'll see if we can run with it. The Pit. Earn 8 reputation stars for each complete row. Nope. That's with one of the map packs as well. So we're going to go... Let's see if we can do this one. The Cauldrons. Earn 1 reputation star for each empty space surrounded on all 4 sides by filled spaces or the edge of the map. So we want to score for empty spaces that are surrounded by the map. Or surrounded by filled spaces or edges of the map. Okay, that seemed a little out there, but we can probably work with that. And then Objective D will be based on villages. We're getting some pretty high values that are going to hurt us later in endgame scoring. So let's see what we've got here based on villages. Shieldgate. Earn 2 reputation stars for each village space in the 2nd largest cluster of village spaces. So we want to make a couple of pretty big village clusters, it looks like. The rest of these can go back to the box at this point since we won't need those. So each season will have a time value in the upper left corner. Once we reach that much time in the Explore deck, then we score for that season, and then we change out objectives based on that. So with that, I think everything's all set for this game, so let's jump in and we'll get into our first card. At any point during this video, if you need a minute to consider your move, go ahead and pause the video and come back when you're ready. So our first Explore card is a fishing village. You'll see that you'll have some amount of choices here. You can either you can choose either among the terrain types. In this case, we have a village or a river to choose from in that shape. So, since we want, question is, do I want to get my water going right away, or do I want to get the village going right away? I think earn 4 reputation stars for each water space adjacent to 2 or more farms. I think we might look at some water spaces going, and I'm going to see about working on my coins, which I get to take a coin whenever I surround a mountain on all 4 sides. So I'm going to draw my first. So I'm going to take the river shape, and I'm going to draw that here. I'll show you that. If I can ever keep hold of it, there's my first river spaces that I've drawn in. I used the water shape for that one. And that was also 2 time of our 8 for spring. Next card up is another 2 time, and we've got a choice of farm or river now. For each water space adjacent to 2 or more farms. Actually, I'm going to do it so the time values are visible so I know how much time has gone by. I think this time I'm going to take the farmland. I'm going to have to start doubling up on farm spaces here, but I can probably work with that. Next value up for that is a treetop village. I can either take for a forest or another village in that shape, and that's another 2 time. Run reputation space for each forest space adjacent to the edge of the map. Question is, can I put that here? I could put that here toward the start working on surrounding this mountain. Yeah, I could probably do that. That's got to be that shape. And I'll take that as a forest. Okay. There's my forest space where I took the shape there. And then potentially our last Explore card if we get another 2 time for spring. And we do. We've got a mangrove swamp now. Or a mangrove swamp. So I could take that for either forest or water. And I want... Actually, I think I am going to take that for the forest because this will help me out with cauldrons. And like I said, I'll make that a forest space. Okay. So there's what I did with the mangrove swamp. I put it right there, and then that is 8 times. That will be the end of spring, which means we stop and score. So we score for each objective. In this case, A, I don't get any points because I don't have any water space adjacent to 2 or more farm spaces. And I kind of screwed myself on that one. Sentinel Wood gives me 1 reputation star for each forest space adjacent to the edge of the map. I have 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means I'll score 6 points for that. I don't score any points for coins. You'd score 1 point per coin you have. And then for any empty space that's adjacent to a monster, you'd lose points on that. But I don't lose any points for that. So I pick up 6 points on that one. Now that's it for spring. Summer's next. We'll be scoring on these 2 objectives now. To set up for the next season, you'll take another card from the ambush deck and shuffle everything back and shuffle everything together. So we'll give that a shuffle. As you can see, this looks like it's going to be a pretty quick game. But again, as always, if you need a minute to pause, if you need a minute to consider your move, feel free to pause the video and come back when you're ready. Give that a shuffle. And a cut. So now we're scoring on Sentinel Wood and the Cauldron. So now we want forests adjacent to the edge of the map and empty spaces surrounded by filled spaces. So we have 8 time in summer once again as well. Our first card up is Temple Ruins. So the next card we draw has to go over top of a Temple Ruins if we can. So we get Wildwood Garden, which has to be in a weird shape like that. So we have to put that over top of a temple garden, and we can rotate it into any shape we need. I believe we're even able to mirror it if we have to. Can be rotated and or flipped as needed. Okay, and I have to put that over top of a temple ruin. That's also worth 2 time. Reach water space adjacent to 2 or more farms. And it's got to go over a temple ruin. Actually, I can take the forest. I can take that for a forest, and I'll put it... I'm going to put it right here, which will give me 2 more points on the... So basically I'm having to flip and mirror it. Which also helps me out on cauldrons, because that also gives me an empty space surrounded by filled spaces or the edge of the map. If I can get one of these filled, I'll get points for the other one, but I need a 1x1. I need to be able to place a 1x1 space to do that. Next card up is a Timber Grove with 1 time. I can either take a shape like that, which gives me 2 columns of 2 with an empty in between, or I can take the 3-piece shape there, and I get a coin for that, and that's worth 1 time. And I think I want the 3-piece shape with the coin. So what I'm going to do with that, so I'll place it right here. I'll show you where I'm placing it in a second, after I get done drawing it. So I'm placing that shape right here, and I get to cross off a coin. So now we're at 3 of 8 time in the summer. Our next card up is our first ambush. So ambushes work a little bit differently, where it might be hard to see, but in the upper right corner, there's a corner of the map that you have to start in. You have to try to draw that shape in. In this case, we can draw it in the lower right corner. So you can see my map right here. I have to draw it down here in the lower right. So I'll just fill in 3 spaces like so. I'll place G for Goblin. And all of a sudden I've got a whole bunch of empty space that I need to deal with for points. But that ambush is at least out of the deck. So next card up is a Hamlet for 1 time. And it's another case of we can either take a big cluster or we can take a small one for coins. And I think I'm going to take the small one for coins. So I'm going to place that. I'm going to place that right here to close off some of the goblin damage that we just took. Move that down just a touch. This is why I normally like playing these roll and writes in pencil. And I get to take another coin for that because I took the smaller shape, which I put right there. Next card up, we're at 4 time. That's a 1x1, so I can place anything I want in a 1x1 space. And I think we're going to go right here up to A1, and I'm going to place a forest there, which will actually score me another 2 points, I think. 1 for the Sentinel Wood, for another space adjacent to the edge of the map, and then 1 for another one that's surrounded by filled spaces or the edge of the map. So there's where I placed the Riftlands, and it was worth no time. Next card up. There's a Forgotten Forest. I can take either that Tetris-shaped piece for 4 spaces, or I can take that for a coin. And I think... Can I go over top of a Temple Ruins? I think the only thing binding me with the Temple Ruins is it has to go over that. Yes. Looks like I can go over top of the temple. So, I think with that in mind, I'm going to place the... I'm going to take the... Actually, I could take either shape and stop it, but I think I'm going to take the... I'll get this... Actually, I'll get 1 more point if I take the longer shape. Actually, what I get? 1 more... Actually, I think it's a question of 1 point now versus 3 over the course of the game. And I think I take over the course of the game. So I'm going to take the 2 piece and put it over top of these two, over top of this Temple Ruins. Which gives me access to another coin, and it closes off most of the damage from the goblins. So now I just have this. So I just have this space to worry about. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 8 time left and gone through in summer. So our next card is another 2 time for an orchard. And if I want to close off the damage completely from the goblin, I could do that now. And I think I will. The only question is, what am I going to use to do it? It's adjacent to 2 or more farms. I don't think I'm going to get that, but I think what I will do is I'm going to take the L shape. Well, I'm going to take the L shape either way, and I'm going to take farms over top of this space, so I close off the last of the goblin spaces. So there's what I've done, and now I've completely closed off the goblin attack. So we're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 time. Even if we go over, we get to draw it. So let's see what we find here. Treetop Village again. So this will definitely take us over the top of time. Where do I want to put it now? Actually, I'm going to put it right down here in the upper right corner. So I'm going to take it for... Where do I want to take it? Do I want the village out of it, or do I want the woods? I think I want the woods, the forest. That's one too many. Okay, so we'll put that there. Okay, so I took it for the forest and I put it over in this upper right space. So now we're over the top of time, which means we score everything. So for objective B, I earn 1 reputation star for each forest space adjacent to the edge of the map. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I score 16 points for that. Plus C for each empty space surrounded on all 4 sides by filled spaces or the map, or the edge of the map. For that I score 1, 2, 3, 4 points. I have 3 coins, and I closed everything off from the goblin attack. As you can see, it's only orthogonal adjacency in this game. So that space won't count against me for the goblin attack. Which means I'm at 0, which brings me up to 23 points for Summer. So Summer's done, which means I won't be scoring on the Sentinel Wood again, so I don't care about that. Which means I can shuffle these in, and we'll take another ambush card. We'll shuffle this in. And now fall is only going to have 7 time in it, and we're scoring on the Cauldrons and Shield Gate. So we want our second... I think we probably want to start working on our villages now. We want our second... We need our second biggest village... our second village cluster to be fairly big. So we'll give that a cut. And I think we will take a small break before we jump into the second half of this game. As I mentioned, for fall we're scoring on the Cauldrons and Shield Gate, and we only have 7 time in fall. So our first card for the fall is another treetop village. Now we don't, as I said, we don't care about the forests anymore. So now I want to work on our village clusters. So I think what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put the village... Can I get this coin? I think so. Yes, I can actually. If I flip it, yeah, I can get it. I'll show you how I'm getting it in a second. Once I finish getting it. So I put it down. So I put it down here, which does give me that coin. I had to do a little bit of flipping with it. Actually, I had to rotate it and then flip it so I could get it to work. But that's 2 time out of 7 in the fall. Next up, we've got an orchard, which is also giving me 2 time. Which is either forest or more farmland. And I think I want the... What do I think I want here? I don't think we're getting anywhere on this. Actually, we could put it... Wait, I should have scored 1 more point for the Cauldrons in this era, because I didn't... Actually, did I count that? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, I didn't count it, so I should have scored 1 more point. So that should be 24. All right, now we're back to the question of what do we do with this orchard? I think we flip it vertically, and then I can place it right in here. And I'm taking it for farmland. So I will actually score for objective A when it comes back around. But that's 4 out of 7 times. So our next card is a fishing village for 2 time. I think we're gonna take that as a village. And where am I gonna put that? I'm gonna put that here. Once again, I'll show you where I'm putting it in a second. I'm putting that here so it'll help me score on this empty space for the cauldrons. And then what's probably going to be our last card of the fall. Let's see what we get here. Outpost Ruins, so we have to draw over a temple if we can. Let's see what we get here, over ruins if we can. Let's see what we get here. We've got a Bugbear Assault. So basically we move... So the way that happens is this one's on the... This one's a terrible assault to get. So we start at the upper right corner, and we're moving in this direction. So we're going to move down until we find where we can legally draw it, which unfortunately, at least I believe that's how it goes, right? Starting in the corner indicated, move along in the directions indicated by the arrow. So I have to start up here, and I move down here until I come to here where I can legally draw it. That is problematic to the nth degree. Heading into scoring, that really hurts because that's going to give me a lot of empty spaces, not all of which I can close. And then what's... yeah, I think it overrides that. So, the last card, it overrides the ruin. So we've got a Wildwood Garden, which is our last 2 time. We can cover some of this damage, but not all of it. I think I'm going to place it right in the middle of my assault. So I'm placing it like that, which will stop that part from being a problem, but we'll still have problems scoring on this half of the Bugbear Assault. So we'll go ahead and score for Objective C. For Objective C, I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points from that. Plus on Shield Gate, I earn 1 for each village space in the second largest cluster, which will be this cluster right here, so I'll pick up 4 points for that. I'll gain 4 coins because that's how many coins I've picked up. And then I lose 4 points because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces adjacent to the monster that weren't covered. So I'll net out a total of 10 points. Then we're done with fall. We'll take the last ambush card. We'll shuffle all of these back in. Oh boy, I'm gonna reshuffle that because I saw what I was shuffling in. All right, now we'll take a new ambush card from the top without looking at it, and we'll shuffle it in. And now we're not scoring for the cauldrons anymore. And to cut, actually, we'll do that for a cut. And as you can see in winter, we only have 6, actually, I'll bring it up so you can see, but we only have 6 time in winter. Then we're scoring on village clusters and water adjacent to farms. First card up is a Rift Land for 0 time, so I can take a 1/1 and draw it anywhere. Which I'm going to take a... what am I going to take here? I think I'm actually going to put a water space down right here to give me that as a... Give me that as an... Actually, I don't really care about that anymore. But I'll actually take that... Actually, we'll take that as a water space because I care about Ulam's Wallow. Our next card up, that was 0 time. This is 1 time where I can take a settlement. I can either take that shape or 1 by 2 and get a coin. And that's only 1 time. I think we'll take the bigger piece, and I just have to rotate it a little bit to fit it where I want it. So I'm placing that here, and then it turns this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into my smallest cluster because this is 9 spaces large. So that'll help me out with victory points there. Anyway, that was 1 time, so our next card up is a homestead, which I have to place it in the 3 by 3 with 1 and with 2 in the middle. Where do I want to put that? I probably want to start dealing with some more of this damage from the Bugbear Assault. The question is, if I put it here, am I going to be able to make it? The question is, what I'm looking at is if I put it here, am I going to be able to make this connection? Because if this suddenly becomes my second smallest cluster, then I'm going to be losing out on a lot of victory points. But I think I have to take the risk and try to connect them. Mostly because I'm going to try to close off the rest of the damage from that Bugbear Assault. So now I've got 1 space. I've got 2 spaces left that I need to deal with on the Bugbear Assault. That was 3 time. We only have 6, remember? Now we've got a Cobbled Onslaught, starting from the lower left, moving up the map until we can draw that. Which, look at that, we can draw it right in the lower left. Which actually isn't terrible for us, because now we've got 3 spaces that we need to deal with there, in addition to 2 over on the Bugbear Assault. But we only have 3 time left to deal with that, so let's see what we get here. Pasture, so we can either take a 1 by 1, we can take 1, then a blank, then a single for a coin, or take a slid 2 by 2. I can't fit the 2 by 2 to deal with the Bugbear Onslaught, but I can do something, I can work a bit on the Cobbled Assault, which I will. So I'm putting that there, which will deal with 2 of the spaces from the Cobbled Assault. So I have the 2 left there to deal with. And this could be our last card of the game if we flip over a 2 time card. So of course we do. Now the question is, where am I going to put that so I can actually... Where am I going to put that that'll actually do me some good? I think the best I can do is right around this mountain, and I'll take it as farmland, I guess, even though it's not really doing me any good there. But I'm going to put it there, mostly so I can just close off at least 1 space of the Bugbear Assault. That's 6 time, and that's the end of the game. So we'll go into our last round of scoring, and then we'll pause and do endgame scoring separately. So... looking into scoring, we score on Shield Gate. I wasn't able to make the... Actually, it's based on the second biggest. So our biggest is our cluster of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 4. So our biggest is 9. Our second biggest is 8. So we get 8 victory points there. Then for Ulam's Hollow, we earn 4 reputation stars for each water space adjacent to 2 or more farms. We have 2, actually. So we have this one that's adjacent to 2 farms, and this one that's adjacent to 2 farms. So we do score 8 points for that. Plus we get 4 for coins. But we lose 1, 2, 3 victory points because we weren't able to deal with those. So we'll total up 16, 20, 17. And the grand total here is 30, 57. So 57 points, but we're not quite done with scoring there because we have actually final scoring, and that's where our objective cards will come into play. So if you remember, we had star values in the lower left or in the lower right corner of each card. Ulam's Hollow was a 14, then Sentinel plus Sentinel Wood is a 25 to bring me up to 39. Then 20 on Cauldrons is 59, plus 20 more on Shieldgate is 79. Ouch. So we'll subtract that from our 57 to get down to negative 22, and based on that, we've got a name for that. So based on the highest rating that we met or surpassed, yikes, we're the Oblivious Ink Drinker. Yeah, that's a thing that happens, but yeah, we definitely got some very tough objectives to get through, but that will do it for this playthrough of Cartographers. This is actually a fun little game. I can see this getting to the channel again. It's very, very quick, very light, and I kind of enjoy this actually, but I'm rambling now. That will do it for this playthrough of Cartographers. Later this afternoon, I'm expecting to do one more product unboxing, and then we'll finish We'll finish Roll and Write Day with another Flip and Write, as we'll do a playthrough of Welcome To. Tomorrow we're going to have Boxing Day on the channel. We'll start off with Glory Days Boxing from Sideline Strategy Games in the morning, which will be a new game on the channel, and then we'll have the finals of the Greatest Boxer Tournament and Title Bout 2 later in the afternoon. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.